Wash your hands, don't touch your face, wipe things down, clean up your space. When you cough and sneeze, do responsibly. If you feel you're getting ill, isolate at home and chill. No, you're not alone. Please pick up your phone and call 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health Community Radio Station will provide you with more information. Say Rainier Avenue Radio. Your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
This message is brought to you by Public Health, Seattle and King County, the Washington Department of Health, Washington Chapter AAP, and Within Reach. No matter where your classroom is, whether in person or online, routine vaccinations protect your child from serious diseases like measles, mumps, and chickenpox, and they keep your child safe, healthy, and thriving. Need help finding a provider? Visit parenthelp123.org or call the Help Me Grow Washington hotline at 1-800-322-2588.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram, Rainier Avenue Radio.world, and on Twitter at Rainier Ave Radio.
Welcome to Real Estate and Money, a half-hour program on Rainier Avenue Radio.world designed to help you whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, or renter in real estate. Your hosts are two local professionals who will escort you on your journey. Violeta Strash has years of media advertising and marketing experience and brings this extensive knowledge to John L. Scott Real Estate and all our clients. And Tina Lombard, who is a mortgage loan originator with guaranteed rate Affinity, with over 28 years of experience. And now here's Violeta and Tina.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hi.
Tina, what's happening with your background? Is that no? Oh,
this is the horrors of moving.
Okay, that's why we have the horrors of moving as our topic today, right?
Yes, it absolutely is. So the horrors of, it's supposed to look like a, I don't know, it's a better.
Okay.
Anyways,
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
All right, I am ready. Here we go with the market report from the last 2 weeks because we weren't here this past week live, but we did have a show. So thank you, everyone, for continuing to tune in to Real Estate and Money. Here we go for King County. I have feedback going on. I don't know what that is, Daniel. Anyway, for King County, the last 2 weeks, we had 1,983 homes on the market and sold. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. There was 1,152 homes sold from an active list of 831. The average price of those homes went for $1,069,000. Last year, these homes sold for $1,009,000. That's a 6% increase. Days on the market, we're looking in King County. It was 29 days on the market last year. Now we're looking at 19 days before inventory goes pending. Square footage, in case you're thinking about building, we are looking at last year was $393 a square foot. This year we are at $454, 15.5 is King County. Now we're looking at Pierce County with the number of active homes in the last couple of weeks, 452, sold 675 at an average price of $562,000. Last year we were looking at $532,000. and an increase of 5.5% year to year. Days on the market last year, last year, 30 days on the market. Now we're looking at 18 days. Dollar per square foot, $223 a square foot. Now it is $268, and that difference between last year of $223 to $268 is 20%. Snohomish County, we have 300 homes for sale, 595 sold in the last couple of weeks at an average price of $731,000. Last year it was $689,000, the average price. That's a 6% increase year to year. And then now looking at days on the market, last year we were looking at 27, this year 16. So things are going still pretty quick. Dollar a square foot, $276 last year versus $329 a square foot this year. That's a 19% increase. So you see, if you want to build something, those are your numbers to consider. And I understand, talking to a contractor this past weekend, lumber prices have come down. There's more access to materials if you're considering building. Still, there's a wait for materials, but it is available. And the buyers out there, a lot of people are now in the back to school mode. They are hunkered down for the winter, and we're seeing a slower, which is typical of real estate. There's a seasonality to buying, and it's slowing down for the winter months. So there are still homes out there to be purchased, and you may be able to find what you want right now because the number of buyers have gone a little bit. Okay, there you have it. Uh-oh, Tina. She's muted.
Here I am.
Okay.
So, that's the big thing right now is that the sellers are finding that buyers are not as plentiful as it was last year. You're no longer having the weekend where, one day on the market and it's $50,000 over asking and 20 offers. Those days are kind of gone right now. So
it's a little slow, not a lot of multiple offers happening, right?
But on the positive side, though, it's very good for people who are actually making offers on homes because now their offers are actually being looked at. They're not, 28th in line. They're actually third in line. Quite often I hear, they're looking at our offer or it's just me and another person that they're considering. So that's good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. What else are you seeing out there, Tina, on what's coming across your desk on financing? A lot more refis or what else?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, refinances are really prevalent right now. In the last couple of weeks, I have a lot of people wanting refinances. And refinances are like at 3%, 2.99, 3.1. FHA is down to like 2 points, in those areas. FHA has really came back. Last year, government loans such as FHA and VA were like in the fours. They were completely priced out of the market because government was kind of wacko, as far as rates are concerned. But this summer, it's been a reverse. Those government loans are killer. And the loan to value, the cash out you can get on a refinance with government loans are a lot higher than conventional. So I've been having some people who don't qualify for conventional because they're taking all this cash out. They've been flipping to FHA. And even though FHA has got mortgage insurance, because the price, the rate is so low, even the rate plus the mortgage insurance is cheaper than just going conventional with no mortgage insurance.
Yeah.
So as far as interest rates, as far as refinances, if you guys thought you missed the wave, you're wrong. There's a secret wave that came up, and it's very good right now. And right now for us, we're not so inundated like last year. So last year, refinances were taking 60, 90 days.
Wow.
Companies were like, okay, thank you for applying in September. We'll see you at Christmas. And that was classic. And I was like, so I had so many loans that had to wait forever because there was such a bottleneck. But now, we're closing refinances in like 21 days. At least my company is. We're closing them very quickly. We're still getting what's called appraisal waivers. So people, if you're not taking cash out, sometimes we can get an appraisal waiver where we don't even do an appraisal on your refinance. So it's just, I mean, if you can go from 4.1 down to 2.7 or 3 point whatever, who cares? If you can save, $300-400 a month by just signing papers and doing an application, then by all means do it, and then shave some years off their amortization. So, just crazy stuff. 15-year rates and 15-year mortgages, those rates are pretty low too. They're the low twos. And I mean, this is a good time to refinance. Very good time.
Right. And how long is it taking for conventional loans to close?
Same thing, 21 days to 30 days. We always say 30 days. I mean, you can close faster than that, just depending on the temperature of your client.
Yeah.
So for us, it takes a hop, skip, and a jump to get approved. I think on Saturday, I approved like 3 loans that afternoon. Boom, 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 boom. That takes nothing. But if your client does turn in their paperwork and everything is necessary up front, the only thing you have to worry about is the appraisal. And the appraisals are taking about a week, maybe 10 days, But let me give you a little heads up. I'm glad you brought this up. It takes us 2 seconds to get the loan approved, and it runs through DU. I get a purchase and sale contract and people are like, go, 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 go. We got to close before the end of the month. But they never tell us who the escrow and title are. They give us a purchase contract and nobody tells us who escrow and title are.
Wow.
So it takes us a day and a half to get escrow and title. Now, some of these agents are kind of tricky and they tell their clients, we're not quite sure what we really want to do, so we won't turn in the earnest money just yet. Or you got until 3 days to turn in the earnest money or whatever it is. So guess what? We can't get the earnest money deposit. We call up title and we ask, can we get your wiring, your instructions, your CPL, your fees, so we can disclose. And they're like, we don't have the contract yet. We don't have the earnest money yet. And I'm like, okay, come on, people. You're trying to give us 21 days. Yeah, it's taking you 4 days to give the earnest money and tell us who escrow is. So agents out there, if you're listening to me, if you have a contract and you want to close on time, put down the escrow officer's name and their phone number. There are at least 10 Stewart titles in the 5-mile radius. What's the location? Who's got the earnest money and who's the title rep? Because that may take us 2 or 3 days to hunt down. And if it's a HOA substation involved, that may take us 2 weeks. So agents, before you turn in that contract, escrow, title, HOA, please. Thank you very much.
And let me tell you guys, last weekend I called Tina and I said, I got this guy. He needs to buy a house.
Oh, yes.
How quickly can you get him through the process, the approval process? It was like seconds. She was so quick. So, call Tina.
Let's elaborate. You were on the golf course, weren't you?
Yeah. I was just looking at a house and I ran into this guy who was pulling a flyer from the box. And I just asked him, are you looking for a home? And yeah, I want to live on the golf course. And I said, do you want to take a look at this house right here? Yeah. And, after I showed him around, before I showed him around, I asked him what he did, and thinking, okay, yeah, he has money. And then, are you pre-approved? No, not yet. And do you have the number one question? Do you have an agent? No. Okay, let's go look at the house. So that quickly, things like that. That
happened. And then you called me up and said, hey, you must.
But anyway, we're going to go on a break. And then we're going to talk about what happens. You're closing, right? You got everything is happening. When do you close? Tina will talk about closing really quick and then go into moving your stuff. Daniel?
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts, Violeta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Okay. Tee it up, Tina. Oh.
So we're going to be talking about moving. What happens when you do sell your home, moving to the same city? That's not so dramatic. But what if you're moving across state or across the United States? You're moving from Washington to Arizona or California or Miami What do you do? So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today.
Yeah, and we have a guest expert by audio today, Tony Garski. We're going to talk to him. 2 users in the stream with audio only. Are we okay? So one of us has to go. So Tina, why don't you talk to Tony? He's an expert mover. He's done that for a number of years, and let's ask him questions about what do the sellers need to do or the buyers need to do to get him ready, and yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, hello, Tony. Thanks for joining us today.
I guess I don't have to go. Okay, go ahead.
How are you doing, Tina?
Hi,
Vi.
pretty good. Thank you. So, Tony, tell us the name of your company really quick, and what is it that you do?
Well, I actually had a moving company for about 30 years, and I'm no longer doing it. But I worked with a recently a company that was doing more storage, kind of the storage where we come and pick it up physically and take it to our warehouse. But I've had, like I said, I spent a lot of my time doing models for different developers through the 80s all the way up to about 2015 when I just kind of retired out of that part of it.
But he moved a lot of Windermere and John L. Scott offices,
John L. Scott. Right? I was doing all of John L. Scott's corporate moving at one time, and did a lot of work with Windermere. It was weird that I got so tied in. I did Chicago Titles, Fidelity, all those, and so I was quite tied to the market.
Real estate,
so cool.
Right. Well, really quick, Tony. As far as when people move, when they're moving, a person moving their house, not commercial, what is the biggest fear that they have? And what's the number one thing they should look out for?
Well, I think what they should do is pre-plan what they're moving into and actually downsize exactly what they almost need to make a floor plan of what they plan to take with them. Especially if they're downsizing. There's a lot of downsizing happening now. And that's the main portion is to find out what you can live without. And just you have to get rid of the excess either by donation or giving it to friends, family, or selling it, pre-selling it on OfferUp or Craigslist or something like that. That's probably the biggest thing is you have to really get into the downsize mode.
You have to learn how to eliminate and let some things go. Yeah.
And that's a lot of people have trouble with that.
Yeah. That is.
Tony knows that I do.
So let's say that you have eliminated and you said, okay, this is what's going and this is what's staying. And I am moving and I am downsizing from a family of 4. And now it's just going to be me and wife or me and spouse. And then now we're moving to Arizona, let's say. Now I need to look for a moving company. Do I take my car? Do I take a moving truck? What do I do?
Well, it depends on just how you want to be involved in the move. Obviously, you can do all the packing yourself, or they do have people who pack for you. I've done both. Most people like to do a bit of packing themselves, especially their valuables. And you want to basically just get everything ready for the move. It's amazing how much difference the move cost is when you walk in and the boxes are all done. And if they've prepped the furniture, that's nice. It's not necessary, but any kind of preparation you can do for the move to get things into the truck safely and make it quickly, you're going to save money.
Okay. So tell us, who should we call? See, that's the biggest thing. We get clients where they're calling somebody and then the price doubles or triples before the people even leave the house. Do you call moving companies, cross-state moving companies? Do you call friends up? Do you rent a U-Haul? Who do you call to actually move your furniture?
Well, they do have a list of, moving companies that have the state provides it if you want site, and they're accredited type of movers, and there's plenty of non-registered movers out there that you're going to run into, because it's really kind of the easiest thing to do to start a business is to really do a move, because all you need is a guy and a truck and you're in business. So you'll run into a lot of problems that way unless you go do your due diligence and look them up and look at their reviews. And like I said, they do have a list with the state, and it's a pretty comprehensive list. So you should be able to choose at least 3 bids is what you want to get.
3 bids. Now, when you said a list from the state, you mean like if I was moving to California, there should be a California list of movers, or where to find that list?
Well, I mean, it was in whatever state you're on. They have each mover that if you want a reputable one, will be registered with the state, and they will have they've had gone through extensive protocols and guidelines to be a mover in that state. And it's the ones that you just kind of come fly by night, kind of have to just avoid. And it's going to cost you a little bit more to get that correct quote, but it's not going to elevate like where they tell you one price and then it's triples by the time you're at the other end. And most of those movers will stay within, I believe they have to be within 20% of their bid.
Ah, that's good to know. So let's say that a client, so they have to be within 20. So if somebody charges you $10,000 and then, you got a few more boxes and that sort of thing, and now it ends up being $22,000?
No,
that's kind of like,
they would be within 12,000. I mean, it would go only up 20%. So you would, and they would have to give you a comprehensive list of what happened and why it went up. And that's what you really want, is someone who can give you the documentation for what you're paying for.
Okay. So now let's say, now if you were to move across country and they say that they'll have your truckload there in like 5 days, or let's just say a week, and it doesn't show up, or they say, oh, it's going to take another week. It's going to take another week. Is that normal, or is that's kind of bad business?
It depends on a couple of different factors. They do have, they don't necessarily use their own trucking companies.
Yes.
And so they are at the mercy of the people, to a phone number of the actual person who's driving your belongings. So
you should probably look for that.
Yeah, it just it's good to trust people, but I mean, it's your stuff, and you should be able to track where it's at all times, and it's fairly easy to find these people. As far as they have tracking in their trucks now, so.
That's good. Yeah, it's true. I bought some eye cream or something, and they tracked it from like the Middle East to Italy to customs in Miami, then to Denver, then to me. You would think that your furniture should be tracked too.
Yeah,
tracked.
Especially if it's going domestically.
So now, if somebody does have problems, and I mean, there's horror stories how they've been doubled on price, and the belongings never showed up, or it's like 2 or 3 weeks out. What can somebody do to talk? Who should they talk to? Attorney General? Who should they call if they should have a problem?
Daniel says Ghostbusters. Besides the Ghostbusters. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm trying to think of the commission. There's a commission that each state has that you can tell your story to, and unfortunately, once you don't have possession of your stuff, you are kind of at the mercy of whoever has it, and like I said, it's just so important to find a reputable mover, and they're out there, like I said, but you have to really look and do your due diligence. Otherwise, you'll run across people that don't have your best interest in heart.
Yes. And you know, I'm so glad you're saying this, Tony, because I know, I mean, like with me and mortgages and stuff, people always try to get the cheapest price, the lowest rate, the cheapest price, the lowest fees. I'm like, you do that, you know, there's no telling what's going to happen. And a lot of times people bait you in with a switch and bait. They give you the cheapest quote in the whole wide world. Once they have your belongings, then they've got the power. So what can you say to people who are trying to get a good deal, but they're getting the absolute cheapest? What do you have to say? What
if it sounds too good, it probably isn't a good deal. And that's, you go back to that old adage, but I mean, that's why it's important to get 3 quotes minimum. You're going to get 3 different quotes, and they're going to give you an extensive inventory and tell you how many boxes you'll need and what they'll need to wrap it with. And people who really do this professionally are not afraid to show you what they're going to do for you. It's the people that are kind of, it's going to look like this, and then I'm going to do that. And then, you know, they don't have much paperwork. They don't have much guarantee. It's all kind of, they tell you what they're going to do and not really show you, especially on the bid, what's going to happen.
That's nice. And we have the blessing, me and Violeta, we have the blessing because I know a lot of realtors is the first place you ask as far as moving, what is a good reputable company? And just like Violeta's got you on the line because you're reputable and she can refer you. But, you know, people out there, just like Tony is saying, you need to check the listing. You want to make sure they're accredited. You want to check their pricing. You want to get 3 bids. You want to see if they've got tracking. You want to make sure they're at ease, or you're at ease with them, and that they've got some reviews. And if it is a referral from like a realtor, you know, that's the route you want to go. You don't want to just necessarily go for the cheapest because you may pay somebody to take your money and run. So, you know, you really want to refer to your professionals and see who they use. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you know, main thing is you've trusted your real estate agent all along. Trust them to give you the referral for every step of the way that you might need, and in particular, the movers. So I wanted to thank Tony today for hopping on board last minute just to give us your expert advice. And, you know, we have a lot of horror stories that have come through, and we need to protect our buyers and sellers. So,
Tony, thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. It's good to hear it from an actual mover. It's just, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not all bad.
He's a good one. Yes.
Okay, he's a good one.
All right. So here we go. Tina, let's wrap it up.
We're going to wrap it up. So you want to, next week, join us same place, same time. It's going to be 3:30. That's going to be Mountain Standard Time, and in Seattle at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time. So tell your friends and family members to tune in.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Real Estate and Money with your hosts, Violeta Strash and Tina Lombard. For more information, call 206-717-4490. That's 206-717-4490. Go to the Rainier Avenue Radio.world website to find the Real Estate and Money schedule, or tune into our live show every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3. We will help you find your dream home.
Yes, excellent.